T3, take 4.
History is not what you experience, it's what you remember. The trouble is, they're always playing with our memories, but over the years they have become more desperate, more obvious. They're no longer able to hide. Instead, they play on our ignorance of what we should remember, and in its place, they offer history. Have you ever considered the parallels between Abraham Lincoln and John F. Kennedy? Lincoln was elected to president in 1860. Kennedy was elected to president in 1960. Lincoln's wife lost a child while living in the White House. Kennedy's wife lost a child while living in the White House. Lincoln was shot in Ford Theater. Kennedy was shot in a Lincoln made by Ford. Booth shot Lincoln in a theater and fled to a warehouse. Oswald shot Kennedy from a warehouse and fled to a theater. Lincoln's successor was Andrew Johnson, born in 1808. Kennedy's successor was Lyndon Johnson, born in 1908. Kennedy was shot in the back of the head in public in the presence of his wife. Lincoln was shot in the back of the head in public in the presence of his wife. Coincidence? Not hardly. This is what the quantum lords call a collapsing reality. It's what happens when you stare at something you're not supposed to so long that you begin to see the holes in it. Well, that's what happened to the so-called history of the 20th century because of photography. Something that the Homo sapien was not supposed to get for at least another 100 more years.
I remembered the line from the Hindu scripture, the Bhagavad Gita. Vishnu is trying to persuade the prince that he should do his duty, and to impress him takes on his multi-armed form and says, "Now I am become death, the destroyer of worlds." I suppose we all thought that, one way or another.
Your species was able to discover a world that was meant to remain hidden before they were ready, before we were ready to show it to you. At first it began as fiction, then the subtle border between fiction and history began to blur. Until ultimately realities collapsed. And you didn't know it. You all woke up the next day and assumed that life would go on, but it wouldn't. A new species of human had been born right before your eyes. With new consciousness, new abilities, new motives, new alliances, new agendas, even a new gene pool. They had tried to warn you, but you wanted to believe a lie as transparent as the world they showed you. But you wanted to believe a lie as transparent as the world they showed you. But you wanted to believe a lie as transparent as the world they showed you.
That even matter is life. That law, then, which governs all life is God. Law and the lawgiver are one.
Sons of former slaves and the sons of former slave owners, will they be able to sit down together at the table of brotherhood? I have a dream.
And now you're out of time, thinking that nations were something real when in fact they are nothing more than collapsing realities that repeat the same program over and over again.
Hi, I'm Jessica Mann reporting from downtown New Troy to get citizens' reaction on Mr. Mutom's execution. And this is what a lot of citizens are saying.
Do you know the definition of insanity, Governor Brown? It is when you do the same thing over and over again and you expect a different result. Isn't that how the saying goes, huh?
It's not a saying, Chairman. It's actually a quote. Einstein, I believe.
And your point is?
My point is
His point is that occupations don't work.
Greetings, this is Denise Crosby, and I'm getting reactions from the crowd of today's execution. Hi, is this your first execution?
Yes.
We tried it in Vietnam and we tried it in Iraq.
And we tried it in Europe after the Third World War.
And
it just does not work.
Have you ever seen anyone executed before?
No.
Well, you must be excited. Ma'am.
Tactically, there's no greater advantage than the high ground. However, you'll never find a more determined enemy than one who's fighting for his own people, for his own family, for his own rights, and on his own land.
Speak for yourself. My people were never given an opportunity to fight for their homeland.
So now you want to play the race card? I beg to differ. What do you think the communists were fighting for? Yes, their motives may have been drowned out in class rhetoric heralded by elitist academics while they were in Occupy mode, but once martial law was established in the military zone, they soon came to realize that in 236 King was just a statue.
It does not work. If it did, the world governor would have never pulled the troops out of Iraq.
But as it is, we have a civil war on our hands, and our enemies are our very own neighbors.
They weren't hurting anybody. We should have left it well enough alone before things got violent.
before it turned violent. I can't believe what I'm hearing. That's interesting. Because if I think about it, wasn't it the LAPD that pulled a Kent State on those 13 USC students?
Exactly.
It was at that point that the powers that be ignored the one fundamental law of political science.
And what's that?
That when you have martyrs, you have a revolution.
I suppose that is why we are now the 67 regions of America and no longer the 50 United States.
Ma'am, how do you feel about bringing your little one to something as potentially graphic as this?
Well, I think they need to understand how this nation works, and if being here, even though they're young, helps them to understand that and prevents them from becoming like Kwame Mutom, then I think it's important to be here.
This chicken is pink. Do you see salivating things jutting from my gums? I don't eat blood. I don't eat pink meat. I am not going to argue with you, young man. If I wanted to eat blood or pink meat, I would go on a moonlight hunt.
That's werewolves.
What?
Werewolves hunt by the moon, vampires hunt at night, and in time by the way.
Oh, so you're a wise guy. What is your name, wise guy?
Bill Golding.
What is your educational level?
3rd class.
And would you like a degree?
Yes, Governor, very much. That's why I'm working here, to save up and increase my credit score.
What is your father's name, and what does he do for a living, Paul?
Deb, what are you doing? At one point, we all thought more of ourselves than what we are. If we hadn't, we wouldn't be where we are now.
And I can't see what this has to do with anything, Governor.
It has everything to do with everything. Now answer my question.
But we have to find her first. All right, it's over there, but we have to help Luke first. Help me. Help me.
He's in regional prison.
For what?
For his involvement in the communal uprising of 31.
I thought I saw the belligerence on your face. Unfortunately for you, I am a regional governor, and I sit on the board of this lodge, and I am a close personal friend with Matt Ryan, the chairman. So when I tell you that you are fired, liken it to a wedding ceremony. Not quite official, but it will be when the paperwork is signed. Now, in the meantime, bring me a well-done chicken, and for our trouble, a very dry bottle of Chardonnay, preferably from the oak barrel. What? Is he coming back? I don't know how to process that.
I think that means some expletive that I'd rather not repeat that.
Hey, you bring it on. Can I play? No, Vanessa, I'm playing right now. Get out of here. Now.
I'm glad that I fired him. Rigo, go find us another server.
Yes, ma'am.
Now see, that's what I mean. No matter what the circumstance, you always find some way to show that you're a condescending bitch.
Leave me alone.
What is up your ass now, Sanford?
I mean, couldn't you have sent Mr. Kildare to get a server and not Regal?
I don't know. I really didn't think about it. I suppose I should have. Robert, get off your ass and make yourself useful.
Yes, ma'am.
No. I'll go. Sometimes a pissing match is no place for a woman.
Signora, aspetta, che cosa fai?
Mio lavoro.
Mom, this is bothering me.
Vanessa, leave your brother alone.